Agree with Alan Greenspan, we ought to just eliminate the debt ceiling. Oh, absolutely, we do.
The ability of almost every working American to access more credit than they should have been able to masked the underlying fact that lower and middle class incomes were not rising.
That's not a tenable strategy. Isn't now the time to eliminate it? Oh, we've been a long time ago.
Let's put aside terrorism. Let's talk only about our own homegrown animals that are patrolling America right now. So it goes down to the simplest thing. Be prepared, be vigilant.
Well, fancy meeting you here, folks. Fancy meeting you here. I'm on the way to get blood drawn, which is one of the things that I am most afraid of in life, as funny as that is. Not so much anymore, but it still drives me a little bit insane, the lead up and all that stuff. I don't know if it's the concern for the people doing the job, whatever. Little biometric test this morning, nothing to worry about. I could go on and on about Brussels. I could go on and on about Michigan. And you know what I'm talking about when I say Brussels and Michigan. I don't have to say any more, right? There's nothing more I have to say. The warning lights, the flashing lights, the warnings that have been coming at us for decades now. I was cooking dinner yesterday and I was thinking to myself, being born in 1986, I have never known a time when America wasn't at war with the Middle East. Never. Now, there were times when I was little. Maybe not. I don't know. It's been a constant barrage over there. And we've watched over 30 years the soldiers of that war, in one degree or another, start to make some headway. And now they're in the nation. And now they're doing insane things within the nation, like stabbing cops in the neck. And it was still, we sit here like dunces, like dummies, just sitting, oh, well, you know, we've got to give rights to the people who deserve rights and feel rights and be rights and good rights, and everybody needs rights. And that's what we do. I'd much rather give you a quick update about what's going on with me, because I don't have a long ride here. I think I might extend my ride home from the lab here, and we could talk about some other things. But basically what I'm interested in at this point is just giving you guys a quick heads up of a few things in the I Am Liberty universe. Because there are always things going on behind the scenes. I started writing the survival intelligence book, which it'll be a quick turnaround. It's going to be a very short, probably, I don't know if I'm going to give it away or if I'm going to charge $1 for it. It'll be something like that, though. And that's going to be the Urban Survival Intelligence sort of manual. 5,000, 8,000 words, nothing huge. You know, we're talking 25, 30 pages, something very minimal. Because the concept isn't huge. But it's very important. I've created the full book proposal for the book that I have tentatively titled Community, Saving American Neighborhoods, right? Or Restoring America's Neighborhoods. I don't know the title exactly. That's not really important. If a publisher picks it up, they're probably going to change it. But I've sent the book proposal out, and we're waiting to see what happens with that. Whether or not anybody bites on an idea that has, actual ideas and meat, the ability to really affect the direction of this nation, that book has it. What it doesn't have is a lot of sexy keywords, a lot of searchable market segments that you can make a lot of money off of. You can't slap a stupid title on it that's full of keywords, And when I look at small house publishing, I see a lot of that. I do. I see a lot of those book titles that have like multiple keywords in them. They're almost depending on Google to sell books, which is fine. We're going to go the traditional route, maybe over the next couple months. Query a couple agents, couple publishers, see what happens. If nothing comes of it, then the book will be published by me. Very simply. And I'll go on a world tour if need be to get this book the publicity that it needs. To get it in the hands of everyone. This isn't a prepper book. This isn't a fiction tale. This isn't a Tom Locke. This isn't, survive a mass shooting. This is something very different. I was thinking about it today, and the way I could label it in a funny way that would make people laugh and make people think is it's a left-wing battle plan written by a right-wing prepper. That's what it is. It's a nice, comfortable left-wing battle plan for saving America's neighborhoods and the country itself. Written by a right-wing prepper. That's what it is. And I'm very proud of it. I'm not completed. It's not completed yet. It's about 3/4. It's a few good weekends away. Then an edit, then a great book cover, then a great, the whole thing. But one way or another, we're going to have that book, and we're going to have it by fall. That's my goal. The reason that's my goal is because I'm doing a speaking engagement. For those of you fans listening in the Hampton area of Virginia, I want to say it's July 16th. Yeah, the event is July 15th and 16th. The SGK Prepper Show and Gun Show is going to be happening July 15th and 16th at the Hampton Roads Coliseum. And yours truly will be speaking there. I'll be on at 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon, doing about 50 minutes on this topic, on the topic of community preparedness and building stronger communities in our nation. So if you're in the area, come see me. Come see me. We'll be doing questions and that type of thing. I'll probably give you some homework. I won't have a book to hand out yet, but you better believe that when I do the Meadow Event Park Prepper, the SGK Prepper Show in October, that I will have a book to hand out. That's my goal. I want to have books to give to people. I want to have books to sell. That's my goal. And it's all possible, you know what I mean? It's all possible. Another big announcement. I had been sort of drooling over this Dango Products tactical wallet. I've just been in love with this thing, dangoproducts.com. And my wonderful family, wonderful wife got it for me for Father's Day. And it's a beauty. It's just a beautifully crafted number. And I got the thing. And I loved it so much that they contacted Dango Products. And they're going to be our sponsor on the live show for the next few months or however long we decide to do it. So give them some of your time, give them some of your money, because they're supporting us. Go to dangoproducts.com. Again, that's Dango, D-A-N-G-O products.com. Don't buy anything just yet, but have a look at the stuff, because what's going to come is they're going to create a unique coupon code for the I Am Liberty faithful. So just a few updates on the I Am Liberty show. Let me go in here and take care of this responsibility, and then we'll get right back to some content. All right, thank you. Talk to you soon. jwrights.com. Are you launching a survival blog? Do you have a preparedness product or service that you want to get to market? Use jwrights.com and we'll create unique content for you, written by yours truly. This is my freelance website. You've come to know me. Trust me. Visit jwrights.com for your survival and preparedness freelance writing needs. I do infographics, white papers, ebooks. Visit jwrights.com. So the day is drawing into its latter parts. The morning and the blood draw went surprisingly well. I also have a little bit for you at the end here. I'm going to plug some special content in that never made it into a podcast from last week. It's a little breakdown of sort of the whole Comey, Donald Trump situation and what the media is doing to sort of spin it all on Trump, and a little bit of a idea of who it is we put up there as president and what their morality is and what it's been throughout time, as well as another one of my pleadings to get rid of the president altogether. I'm really dialed into getting rid of the president completely. You know, I think it's one of the great wedges of our time with this many people. I think that the dividing force of the president is far more powerful than anything that they could possibly do to better the country, right? You look at this situation right now. You look at our situation with Syria, right? We're shooting Syrian planes out of the sky. And you say to yourself, this is with Donald Trump now. We would be at war with Russia if Hillary were in. If our president, who is purportedly or reportedly or allegedly under the thumb of Putin, working tightly with Putin, if that's the situation, and he's still so pushed by the situation in Syria, so emotionally rattled, that he's blowing things up, blowing air bases up, shooting planes out of the sky. Just imagine for a moment what Hillary would be doing right now. We would be at war with Russia. Had Hillary gotten into the presidency, we would have put Russia under such tight and strict, what's the word? What that I'm looking for? I want to say reparations, but that makes me laugh. Not restrictions. You know what the NATO does best. What they do best. They come out and they tell you that we're going to put you under. We're going to take money from you, and we're going to help. Well, whatever. She would have them pressured so hard. Right? She would have Russia pressured so hard by now because of what's going on in Syria that we'd be at war. And whether you think that's the right thing or not, unless you're a soldier, I really don't care about your opinion that much on it. Or the mother or father of a soldier. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Are there little children and people dying in Syria because of a civil war there? Yes. Are there moderate rebels fighting Russian forces, pro-Russian forces and Syrian forces there? Yes. Does that mean your neighbor should go there and die? No, it does not mean that. That is not what that means. Humanitarian crisis on the other side of the world does not mean that, the children should go and die. Can you believe we've been fighting in the Middle East for how many years now? To no avail, by the way. To no avail. Now we send Jared Kushner over there. We send a Jewish guy over there to fix the problems with the Arabs. That's a brilliant one. I love that. Right? We put it sending someone. You want to talk about sending someone into the lion's den. We send a devout Jew over to negotiate with Arabs. Love it. That'll go really well. That'll go really well, and I can promise you one thing. Jared will leave there with a business contract that we won't find out about until probably 10 years from now. Because I think this has nothing to do at all with peace, what's happening over there right now. Peace talks, schmeese talks. What this has to do with is Jared Kushner making sure that Ivanka Trump has a nice comfy bed to sleep on at night. That's what this is. I'm just telling you what I see. I see a man who is a smart man who is driven by money. There's no doubt about it. Maybe he wants to do the right thing. Maybe he doesn't. There's got to be a motivation for him to head over there and do this. Gotta be. So what? What do you talk about on a day like this, right? There's so much that you can talk about. You can get upset about things, right? You can get upset about new data. New data coming out about 1.5 million illegal immigrants using fake social security numbers to work and live in this nation. We know about it. We know that the number that we've been fed about illegal immigrants in this country is so conservative. We know that number is so far from being right, it's almost laughable. Expect me to believe we're dealing with only 10 million illegal immigrants in the nation. It's hilarious. It's a hilarious thing to think about. But that said, you could get upset about these things, you know? You could spend your day griping about them. To be honest with you, I'm grateful. I'm in a grateful position today. Why? Well, I took care of some things that I needed to take care of. I had some old clients come back to me today. That's always a good feeling. I sent out an email today to someone who I've been interacting with for a long time. It's been a very long time I've been interacting with this person in particular, and what I found, this is what I found. This is why I can never turn my back on the prepper community, no matter what. And really, one of my smaller goals in this life is to give preppers their just due, because they were so subjugated to the nastiness and the caricature representation that came through in the Nat Geo program, that they were sidelined, essentially, right? Preppers were sidelined, marginalized. Meanwhile, we're sitting around telling people the smart way to do things, and if you look around at people who have half a brain, they're doing the things now. People are putting food away. They're putting what? It's just common sense now, you know. And I think that preppers need to get their just due. And one of the reasons I'm bringing this up is because I've been in this community for 5 years now. I've been in this community for 5 years, and whenever I cleave to this community, whenever I move closer into this community, it always benefits me. Always benefits me. In other words, I take on various different projects and do different things, and I sometimes expand my tentacles out to other areas, and I'm always burnt. I'm always singed or left feeling a certain kind of way by these interactions with people outside of this group. Not to say that all people outside of this group are wrong. Of course, that would be silly. But I will say this, when James Walton with the I Am Liberty show comes back home to the prepper brethren, it just always feels so good. You know, when I take these business ventures and I start to work with people who are in this community, you know, maybe not the biggest names on the books, but they're people. They're real people. And I have some level of gratitude about that. Because I've been working hard to develop a platform before I knew I was trying to develop a platform. When I was a chef, when I was a musician, when I was just a kid, you know what I mean? When I wanted to be a poet. All through life, I was looking to do something that I've only been able to do because of you guys. And when I say trying to do it, I mean legitimately. I don't mean, you know, an hour a week. I mean working hard since I'm probably 13 or 15 years old. Working hard on music, working hard on writing, working hard in restaurants all hours of the night, writing books to no one, you know what I mean? Writing family and friend books and publishing them. And it was on a whim that I jumped into this thing, that I started this show. Thanks to James Smith over at prepperpodcast.com taking me on initially. And special thanks, of course, to G-Man over at prepperbroadcasting.com, who has, I mean, I've been with him for almost 4 years now, live shows every Wednesday. If you're not going to the live show every Wednesday, you're missing out on a big chunk of what I Am Liberty's all about. Prepperbroadcasting.com, I'm live every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a live chat room that's full of great people. You can't miss out on that. But stepping stones and stepping stones and stepping stones, thanks to the people in this community. Again, now I'm going to be public speaking. All right, I will be speaking at an event, probably at 2 events before the year's out, but one in July. July 16th, 1 p.m. at the Hampton Roads Coliseum in Virginia. And these are big stepping stones, and I find that when you go out and you try to reach and attain these goals in other segments, it's tough. You know, it's not easy. And then I come back to you guys. I come back to the people who gave me my start. And it's like going back home to mom. You're there, your arms are open. Oh, man, we're so happy. So glad that you came. And the email that I sent today had to do with my new book. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel really good about the situation. Because, like I said, when it comes to this group and myself, there's I believe in fate, okay? I'm a superstitious guy on some things, and yes, I do believe in fate, and I believe that my connection to preppers and survivalists is... It's one of those parts of a great story, you know? It's one of those things that in life, when you hear a great story, you hear about a person who has done great things. They're always hit by that one thing that they never saw coming, and that's what you guys are. That's what the prepper community was for me. I never seen this coming. Never. And now I'm in the whirlwind, and I couldn't be more grateful. So I'm going to put the content from last week on now, right? Nobody's heard. It's not a rerun or anything. It's stuff that just sat around, didn't make it to a show. I think you're going to enjoy it. All right. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday live. I may put a show up before then, but I'll at least see you next Wednesday live at prepperbroadcasting.com. Thanks so much. So as I was putting away my weights today at the gym, another powerhouse workout, which if you guys aren't going to your phone, if you want to get strong, go to your phone right now. I don't want to do this right in the beginning of the show, but I think it plays into the story. Download Strong Lifts. It's a free app. Download it. 5x5 Strong Lifts. Do what it says. You'll be amazed. Anyhow, they're not paying me anything. I just think that people need to know about it. As I'm putting away my weights, right? Still haven't eaten breakfast. I did a little morning fast here. I've got eggs. I've got bacon at home waiting for me. I look up to see that CNN is still reporting on Comey. And the Comey testifying. And the Comey. And the Comey. And the coma that was caused by Comey. And I can't help but feel like who's watching this? Who is watching this? Who cares? What was the revelation? You want me to boil the revelation down for you? Our president, okay, is a flawed man and a liar. Our president is a flawed man and a liar and probably a bully. You know, in a roundabout way. Not to say that he actually went in there and pushed Comey around, things like that. Comey's a big dude. He would level Trump. Much younger, much stronger probably. But yes, okay, so our president is a liar and a flawed man. And people are running with this, baby. They are just taking off with this information. I told you so. What was Hillary Clinton? Was she a flawed woman? Can a woman be flawed in this day and age? Was she a liar? We know she was a liar. Her whole foundation got shut down. We know she was a liar. We know she was flawed. But let's go even further. Let's go even further. Barack Obama. ISIS is a JV league. You will get to keep. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Liar? Flawed man? What do you think? And I'm not just picking on Democrats here. Let's go even further back. There are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. There are weapons of mass destruction. George Bush. George Bush 2. Right? Was that a lie? Were there many lies that he told as president? Was he a flawed man? You want to keep going? How about I did not have sexual relations with that woman? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. What do you think about Georgie? What do you think about Georgie Porgy Pumpkin Pie? Flawed man? Liar? What do you think? Right? Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen the speeches? What do you think? How about Bernie? Let's jump back to Bernie. What do you think about Bernie? Flawed man? The rich, the wealthy, the people need the money and they need to give a little more, and I think we can save the nation. Buys a what? What was the amount of money he spent on the new house? Flawed man? Liar? What do you think? Let's keep going. Read my lips. No new taxes. Right? Bush 1. Liar? Flawed man? What do you think? Are you seeing a pattern? Are you seeing a pattern? We're on the wrong argument here, folks. We're on the way wrong argument. We're over here looking for Jesus Christ to run for president. And it's like I've told you. The ship has sailed on the presidency. You can't do it. There's too many groups to please, too many lobbyists to please, too many people to please, too many donors to please, too many... And then you have an ego to please, and then you have the position is so corrupted that it doesn't matter who gets in. Don't you understand? It doesn't matter if Zuckerberg gets in. It doesn't matter if Tim Cook gets in. It doesn't matter if the wonderfully talented and so exquisitely prepared Katy Perry gets in. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It doesn't matter who gets in. It's an impossible job. It's an insane job. It's a ridiculous job. And my vote is to remove the seated presidency idea, take the president out altogether, and instead replace it with much more voting at the state level, ballot initiative voting on the federal level, with a much stronger focus on state level representation, right? So we have representatives in the state, from each state. Maybe we do even more representatives. I'd like to see even more state representatives from various parts in the state. You know, how can you tell me that Northern Virginia, Central Virginia, Mountain Virginia, and Southern Virginia on the Carolina border should have the same representative? This is the conversation that needs to be had when you get to 300 plus million people. States with over, millions and millions of people in a state. Demographics, regions. If you're going to have a melting pot, and if you're going to invite everybody in and everybody's going to get a say, you can't limit it to this small amount of representatives at the state level. You kick the president out. There's no point for him. There's no point for a president. It's a done deal. It's a stupid idea. It's got to go. President gets the boot. Instead, more representatives from every state, right? More representatives from every state, from every jurisdiction, from every whatever in that state. And then those state representatives build teams to address the issues voted for on the ballot initiatives in the federal, whatever you want to call it, right? So rather than have a president voted on every 4 years, I think we should vote annually on things. I think we should have an annual vote. Yes. Annual vote. Bulldoze the White House. What's the point? Get it out of there. We don't need a king. And instead, maybe not bulldoze the White House. That's a pretty cool building. But anyway, instead we vote every year on issues. Federally. Nationwide vote on issues. What do you want to vote on? Healthcare. What do you want to vote on? Guns. What do you want to vote on? Right? We vote on these issues. Everybody gets a say, and we do it sort of in the same way that we do with the Electoral College, but rather than electing a president, we use them to take these ballot initiatives and do exactly what they do, which is get a fair reflection of the American people. Once we get the results, once the ballot initiative has been passed, is this putting you to sleep? I don't really care. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 6:30 on a Sunday, and I've already been powerhousing through a workout. If you can't keep pace with me, then you can watch Fox News in the morning or some shit. But anyway, so like I'm saying, once the ballot initiatives get passed, then it's up to our state representation to come together, to work together. And this is the most critical part. They assemble Voltron. What do I mean by they assemble Voltron? They go and find the best and the brightest minds, and it's their job to get them involved. It's their job to get them to say yes. It's their job to get the Elon Musks. It's their job to get the people who are the best at business, the best at technology, the best in healthcare, the best in everything, litigation, law, whatever it is. And we get those people, and we form Voltron. And Voltron attacks our problem. Right? Or not attacks our problem, but finds a solution. So these people are put up somewhere nice. I don't care. If we're getting to a solution, I don't care what the tax cost is. I really don't care. So they're put up in a place where they can brainstorm and they can explore their deep minds and their expertise and how they would fit until they come to some sort of a consensus. Or maybe they don't. Or maybe they come back and report to Congress that this is a far more complicated issue. We need more people. We need more experts, whatever it is. Or they come to Congress with a solution. Okay, we have a solution. This is what we should do. This is who it will affect. This is who it won't affect. It then comes down and gets explained to by this group, by the speakers within this group, and they become the representatives of their idea, the owners, the people who understand it better than anybody else. They tell the American people what the solution is, not some suit. From there, we decide if that's what we want or not. And here's the beauty of it all. Let's say we don't like it here in Virginia, or let's say you don't like it up there in Rhode Island, or you don't like it out west. There's no president. There's no passing the buck, right? You go and make a phone call and leave a message to your state representative, who is the highest authority when it comes to this thing, the highest authority. And that's where that ends. Hey, listen, I've got, 2 million calls last week about this new healthcare initiative. The people of Virginia don't like it. I'd like to modify it for our state's needs. Okay, cool. Or no, that's not going to work. Isn't that so much better than president, vice president, department of this, whatever? And foreign relations, I hear what you're saying. Okay, who's going to handle foreign relations? That's the duty of the state representatives. You put together the best team for foreign relations in America. This is the greatest place in the world. It has the greatest people in the world. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what people tell you about the mean white settlers. I don't care what people tell you about the oppressive white race. I don't care. At the end of the day, it's all culminated in the greatest nation in the world. And if you unleash the power of people of all races, all demographics, onto the problems of this nation and on the problems of the world stage, then not only will you come to a conclusion, but not having a president, you won't have a corrupted conclusion, right? Because you don't know what the team is. You can't corrupt the team. You can't corrupt the team because you don't know who's going to be a part of it. And if the state level representation is only that small of a part and parcel, think about how hard it would be to corrupt it. Let's say we did 5 or 10 representatives from every state, right? So we have 500 representatives, 250 representatives. How do you corrupt them all? How do you buy them all off? Right? How do you buy them all off? And on what issue do you buy them all off? Because you don't even know what we're going to vote on the next year. And you don't know how that vote's going to go, and they have no say in how that vote goes. And when that vote goes through, it's only their duty to solve the problem, put the team together to solve the problem. Listen, it's not flawless. I'm an idiot, okay? I'm just a guy who's watched this thing long enough. 10 years I've been involved with this thing, a little over probably. Nah, probably 10 years. I don't know how much I cared about politics when I was 21. And it's not working. This is a volleyball match. That's all we've got going on. We've got a national red versus blue volleyball match where one team takes the ball and they drop it and the other team points and laughs and then they serve to the other team and then vice versa. Back and forth. It's not working. That's all there is to it. It ain't working. It's time for a change. There's too many people. States are filled with human beings that are unrepresented. There's no way you can tell me that these states in our great republic are all represented by one guy, usually out of the biggest city. How can that be? And if you don't like the sounds of that, if you don't want them backwoods, them country folks getting represented, then I don't know what to tell you. That's not the nation. You're not getting a picture of what this nation is. Yeah, they want crazy shit. Sure. Super religious. Yeah. What do you want? What's the big deal? You have to understand what the nation is before you can do anything with it. Before you can, you know what I mean? So we were here on Comey. We're still sitting here on Comey. Trump is a bad guy. He's just not good and he lies and he's stupid. He sounds like every other president in my lifetime. I don't know. Sounds like every guy I've ever seen up there. Or every person that's ever run, to be honest with you. If you run and you get to a certain point, it's for certain reasons, right? I don't want to go conspiratorial on you, but I'm just ready for solutions, man. I don't want to get on here and harp about problems for the rest of my life. I want to get on here and talk about some good things, right? Because my life is one big good thing. It's just the peripheral. It's just outside the four walls where it gets ugly, where people can't figure out how to fix problems. You know? Wears me out. I'm more tired just in talking to you about this issue than I was the whole morning working out. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. On a lighter note, I'm obsessed with EDC right now. It's just, I'm up all night on YouTube looking at different loadouts and then obsessed with what people are carrying. Trying to put together the perfect kit. Small. You know? Something small, something limited. I don't think we need a lot on our person every day. But I think if you're smart about it, one thing that I'm really good at doing is taking what everyone else is doing and trimming it away. I'm like Rodin. You know what I mean? I can take this block of information and I can chisel that block down to the bare minimums until I come away with something that is near perfection. And I'm on the verge, okay? I might be a month out. And of course, everyone's EDC is going to be tailored to their issues. You know, my EDC is not going to have contact lenses in it because I don't wear contact lenses. But for a person with contact lenses, you better carry an extra pair. But that said, there are things, you know? When I think of EDC in an urban setting, I think of things like access, right? I think of things like intelligence. I think of things like light, fire, water. You know, pretty simple stuff. But I'm looking for just the right tools. Carbine, you know, cordage. Just the right tools to make it work. And to make it highly effective. And it's eating all my time. Before bed, I'm on YouTube and I just want to look and see what people are carrying. Okay, what is he carrying? What is she carrying? What do they have? What does he have? What do you have? What are you putting it in? You know, the Maxpedition is what I'm in love with right now. The Maxpedition I am so in love with right now. I think it's one of my favorite things, to be honest with you. It'll probably be on my person before the summer's out. And that's where my head is in the preparedness games, this EDC move, this chiseling it down, whittling it down to the bare minimum, to the but highly effective minimum, you know, the super efficient minimum that you can carry. And of course a gun. Because the time has come to have a gun. Mark my words, the time has come for the EDC to include a snub-nosed revolver. That's all there is to it. When you have buses of people pulling up and getting out and hacking people with machetes like we're in the jungle somewhere, it's time for the revolver, you know. Because